By the end of this lesson, the learner will demonstrate an understanding of the history of the blanc manger and visualize a more modern interpretation of the classical egg Florentine. The true origin of the blanc manger is obscure, but it is believed by some that it was a result of the Arab introduction of rice and almonds in early medieval Europe. Variations of the dish appear in numerous European cultures with closely related names, including Italy's bianco mangiare and manjar blanco in Spain. Additionally, related or similar dishes have existed in other areas of Europe under different names, such as the 13th century Danish huitmos, meaning white mush, and the Anglo-Norman blanc désiré, meaning white Syrian dish. The white dish, from the original Old French term blanc mangier, was an upper-class dish common to most of Europe during the Middle Ages and early modern period. It occurs in countless variations from recipe collections all over Europe. It is mentioned in the prologue to the Canterbury Tales and in an early 15th century cookbook. The basic ingredients were milk or almond milk, sugar, and either shredded chicken or capon or fish, and often combined with rose water, rice flour, and mixed into a bland stew. Almond milk and fish were used as substitutes for the other animal products on fasting days and during Lent. It was often flavored with spices like saffron or cinnamon, and the chicken could be exchanged for various types of fowl like quail or partridge. Spices were often used in the recipes of the later Middle Ages, since they were considered highly prestigious. This white dish was one of the dishes found in recipe collections all over Europe, and one of the few truly international dishes of medieval and early modern Europe. It is usually set in a mold and served cold. Although traditionally white, blanc mangers are frequently given alternative colors. Some similar desserts are French chef Marie-Antoine Carême's Bavarian cream, Italy's panna cotta, China's anin tofu, or Puerto Rico's tembleque. For our version, we will revisit a classical old recipe, eggs Florentine, and alter the physical components of the dish. This is known as postmodern or even molecular cooking. Consisting of spinach, eggs, and sauce bechamel, eggs Florentine is a classical dish dating back to the Renaissance period, and it was indeed Caterina de' Medici who introduced the use of spinach to the French. Instead of poaching the eggs, as most recipes call for, we will separate the whites from the yolks and incorporate air into them prior to cooking in the oven. The protein found in egg whites, as discussed in Lesson 1, is known as albumin. Egg whites can be whipped into a thick foam, but they will not stay in this state for very long without cooking to coagulate the albumin. We will prepare a puree or coulis from the spinach by first washing and trimming the leaves and then cooking them in boiling salted water. Once cooled, the spinach is squeezed to remove water and then pureed very finely with the blender. Tender leaves of baby spinach can also be used as a garnish, just washed and dried and seasoned at the last moment with some drops of sherry vinegar and olive oil. The classical sauce bechamel can be whipped up into a mousse just prior to serving with the small handheld mixer. First, separate the eggs and whip the whites to stiff peaks with a pinch of salt. Form this foam onto the circles of paper, which are inside a metal ring. Put the yolk into the middle. Cover with the rest of the foam. And bake at 180 degrees Celsius for 3 minutes. To garnish, we can use little rounds of toast bread, which are baked in the oven until crispy, as well as a small Parmesan tuile. Make your own sauce bechamel prior to attempting this recipe. Read about the chef's hat. What do these 100 pleats on the chef's toque represent according to the legend?